Babblefish 5 here. I know it's been a while since I've done a Hungry Hammock Hanger episode, but I needed to take some time off to refresh and relax and spend some time with the family during the holidays. And since the zombie Mayan apocalypse didn't happen, I figured I needed to get back into the saddle and start doing some episodes. Well, today I'm actually going to do a meal that handles two of the biggest requests that I always get for meals on the trail. Request 1 is cheese, and request 2 is Mexican food. So today we are going to do a cheese chicken enchilada soup that will knock your socks off on this episode of the Hungry Hammock Hanger. The shopping list for today is 1 pound of ground chicken and 1 cup of diced onion, 1 quart of chicken broth, 1 10-ounce can of enchilada sauce, 1 4-ounce can of green chili peppers, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of cumin, and a half teaspoon of salt. 1/2 a cup of white rice, and finally 1 cup of masa harina flour. Masa harina is nothing more than a white corn flour. It's got a very distinctive taste to it, and it adds a lot of flavor to this soup. You can get masa harina from your international food aisle in your local Mega Mart. If you can't find it there, I would suggest going with corn tortilla chips. Guess what corn tortilla chips are made out of? You got it, masa harina. Take these, put enough of these in a food processor or a blender, and turn them back into a powder by, well, blending the crap out of them. That'll turn it right back into it, and you can use that just as well. That's the most expensive way you can go. Now, if you want to get masa harina from the web, you can do that, but that's still a lot more than just getting it locally, and it's still more expensive than getting the corn tortilla chips. Put your masa harina in 2 cups of water and stir really well. Get it up into a fine mixture. Brown your chicken in a Dutch oven over medium-high heat until the pink just vanishes. Remove your chicken from the Dutch oven and wipe it down really good with some paper towels. Then brown your onions until they're well caramelized. Then put your chicken back into the Dutch oven and add all of your ingredients except the masa harina. Make sure to stir things really well and reduce your heat to medium-low. Once your ingredients start to steam, then slowly add your masa harina mix in, mixing really well as you go. Make sure to get this mixed really well once you have it in. Simmer gently for about 10 minutes. Then add your 1/2 cup of rice, mix well, and simmer for another 20 minutes. At this point in the cooking process, you've got a decision to make. If you're going to eat some of this soup before you dehydrate it and go on the trail, then you're going to want to pull your portions out now and melt about 1/4 cup of cheese per portion into your soup. And let the rest of it, without the cheese, keep on cooking for a bit. What's left of your soup until it gets really thick. Put your soup on a fruit roll tray in your dehydrator or on your cookie sheet if you're using your oven to dehydrate. Dehydrate at 160 degrees for 8 to 12 hours. You'll need to flip your meal over at about the halfway mark. That way the bottom will dehydrate as well. Your soup is done when it's really dry and it breaks almost like a cracker. If you don't pull any of this soup out to eat in your house, this makes 6 recipes. If you do it this way, it's easy to portion. Just break each circle in half. Let's talk about your cheese options. You'll notice in the dehydrated version of this, I didn't put any cheese in it, and there's a reason for that. Animal fats typically do not dehydrate well, and they don't last very long. They go rancid fairly quick. If you put your cheese in this recipe and dehydrate it, it'll end up kind of being sticky, and it'll also go rancid in about 90 days. So we have a recipe that calls for cheese. It's best to cook the recipe without the cheese and then dehydrate it and put the cheese in when you rehydrate it on the trail. You'll go from something having a 90-day shelf life to something having, well, years of shelf life. So your cheese options are, well, probably about 3 cheese options that are really valid. First one, something like this, a processed cheese product. Something like a Velveeta or a Cheese Whiz, anything like that you can carry with you on the trail. These things last forever without refrigeration. But you can't convince me that those are real cheese, and I typically stay away from those. Don't like them. The next option is shredded cheddar cheese. Shredded cheddar or shredded mozzarella. You can carry those on the trail on short hikes. If you're talking about something that's, you're going to be on like a 3 or a 5 day trip, the shredded cheese will work just fine. And that's usually what I'm carrying on short hikes. Short backpacking expeditions for me. The last option is, well, cheese powder. Cheese powder lasts for several years, tastes great, is actually really cheese that's been freeze-dried and freeze-dried. I'm not sure what the process is, but it makes this stuff last for years. It rehydrates easily, tastes great, and goes really great with the soup. So those are your options. And you want to add cheese in at about 1/3 of a cup per serving for each of your servings of soup. To rehydrate, break your meal up into small pieces you can get, and then pour about 1.5 inches of water over your meal. Once your water's been on the stove for a while and starts to heat up and steam, put your cheese in it. Once your water comes to a boil, put it into a pot cozy and let it sit for about 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, get everything a really good stir, and then you're ready to eat. Alright, so here it is, nice and rehydrated, and tasting really good. The only other thing I put in this is more tortilla chips. Now, if you're looking for something to compare this to, if you're lucky enough to live around at Chili's, this is really close to what the Chili's tortilla soup is. And it is, well, really, really good. Okay, well, you'll have to excuse me for a little bit. And what are you waiting for? Go get this cooked up. So there you have it. A really great cheese chicken enchilada soup on the trail. You get your cheese fix and your Mexican fix all in one meal. So this is a great thing to carry on a cold, blustery day like this. You can find this recipe as well as others on the Hungry Ham and Kanger website, and you can follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. If you like this episode, give me a positive rating. Your comments are always welcome. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the trail.